Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Teng'a here. And today, at first, I wanted to start off and show you some of my more seasonal wear, the kind of stuff I like to wear. And it's a bit cool where I'm at right now, so might as well be cool while being cool. All right, sorry, pardon that probably lackluster attempt at punniness. Now on to the reason I'm posting this video. 2 videos back, I stated that I would one day get around to telling you why I put normal in that video in air quotes. Pardon me, it's getting a little warmer than I thought. Bottom line, the reason I put normal and other things in air quotes is simple. Actually, it's a bit complex, but it gets simple once I explain it to people. Generally speaking, I do not believe in absolutes, which I know almost is an absolute. Thing is, though, is that absolutes bring certain, how do I want to say this, stagnation of thought, stagnation of acceptance of alternative thought to the ones you or someone else may have. So, as general, I choose not to believe in them. However, there are a few I do hold, a few near absolutes I adhere to personally. First of which is normal. To me, normal is something that doesn't exist, but society says it does. Now, what I mean by that is simple. It's simple at heart, but complex in thought. Take, for example, clothing. Choices of clothing. Where I live currently, I'm sort of borderland between a more urban environment and a in a country environment. So yes, I am in the suburbs, but I'm not a suburban in thought. I'm not a country boy in thought. I'm not a city boy in thought. I am just me in thought. The thing about clothing in general that I find very telling as to the sheer stupidity of us believing in a norm, in such a thing as normal, is that if you travel 5, 10 miles one way of me, you end up in one area, in an area of complete different clothing. Where I'm living right now, I see people walking around in Nikes and Lululemons. And I will use the name brands to drive the point home. Yes, sneakers, tennis shoes, whatever you want to call them, and yoga pants, stroke leggings, and so on and such and so on in that regards. You take that 5 mile trip and you end up in Justin's and Wrangler territory. What a difference those 5 to 10 miles make. And yes, I do know I am talking approximately 7.5 to 15, 16 kilometers, making that big of a difference. Sorry about that lens flare. Didn't realize I was going to have it. That is basically one of those things that I feel is very telling of how far the norm is from one area to another in such a small distance when you speak in the global scale. And this comes down to one thing or another comes up and we don't realize it, but there is no true norm. There is no true norm because there cannot be a true norm unless everyone can agree upon what normal is. For example, two people living in the same city, just one street over from each other, can hold different definitions on normal. And because they have different definitions, they cannot agree upon that normal, so there is no normal between those two people. Which in and of itself states that there cannot be a normal if no two people can ever completely agree on what normal is. Which drives me to the point that I do not believe in stating normal as a status. I believe more in, well, maybe this will do a little better. A little bit. Instead, I believe in a status of the accepted average range, accepted average parameters, status quo, or whatever you wish to call it, where everyone can agree on from A to Z or Z, depending on how you wish to say it. If you're between A and Z or Z, you're okay. Is the broad spectrum rather, then is the broad spectrum of what exists. Now in that, if we all agree that we will accept J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R as what is acceptable in public, that is it. That I agree with. I 100% agree with doing something like that. But and that leaves me, but here's the thing. When it comes to such, when it comes to the talking about clothing and whatnot, brings me up a point. The goth, punk, hippie, hipster, and any variety or sub-variety of the one or any combination of one or more of the group, two or more of the groups together, function and walk around in society as we know it today. They are considered outsiders, pariah, outcasts, those who are looked either down on or looked at with curiosity or perhaps even some derision that nobody wants to put out. Where I stand is this: if those goths, if those punks, those hippies, or hipsters, and any subgenre of the aforementioned decided to form their own town, city, or what have you, they would then become the accepted average. They would be the J through R of the town, would be them. From one end to the other would be within their group. Someone coming in to their group who is cowboy, who is classic urbanite, or any other of the classic, well, I don't like using the term, but for the sake of this, I say standard mean stereotypes. Let's just put it that way for the sake of argument. They walk into that society founded by goth, punk, hippie, and hipsters. They become the outsiders. They become the ones who are who are either looked down upon or looked at with with a measure of derision. That would be a turning of tables for sure, to be sure. Now on to another topic in regards to this norm. Because no two people can ever define the term norm to mean the exact same thing. We cannot really define sanity because sanity bases itself strongly along the lines of what is normal and not normal. Sorry, eyelash or something. We cannot define sanity without using the word normal. What is normal for you, for me, for everyone? Instead, I believe in what, and again, an agreed upon accepted range of what actions, what thoughts, what beliefs, and so on in that line of train of attributes rather, is accepted. And then we would describe anyone who is outside that accepted range as as not quite mentally correct, not quite mentally sound, not sane or insane, but someone who needs further scrutiny by a variety of people, not just one or two people of similar background. Add the mix of multiple backgrounds, and then we see the differences. What is different, what is different, and what is the same. Now, I know this topic is a very tricky topic to discuss. I've attempted to do so using memes before on my 9gag profile under a different username, but this is one topic I believe needs. Here goes my brain telling me one word, but I know it's going to come out wrong. This kind of topic needs discussing. Let's just say it that way. And yes, this is definitely going to be a preemptive warning. This is a t-shirt reference. We are more than meets the eye. Every last one of us. Now, if you wouldn't mind, hey, if you wouldn't mind doing the things down there, I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'm out.